This is Chuck Helander, and I'm in the process of digitizing old home movies made by my dad, Orv Helander, and myself. The purpose is to put these on Facebook so that anyone in the family can sort of see the movies, which are difficult to project right now. I've edited them a bit and tried to organize them into some sort of order. I do have the advantage of the notes that Dad left when he organized these movies. Originally, they were 50-foot reels of 8 millimeter film, and at some point in the late 70s, he organized, got together, and edited a lot of these movies together. So what we're looking at is a 400-foot reel of 8 millimeter film. Starting off with Thanksgiving in Waukegan, Illinois in 1959. That's A.T. and Stan, Shelba. That's Ted Larson, Lima Larson, Mom, Helen in the background, setting the table for Thanksgiving dinner, 1959. These are great shots because there's BB, our beagle, who moved with us from Waukegan to Lake Forest, and at one point decided she'd run home to Waukegan. Griff just came from a concert at school. He played the cornet, and so he's still got his band uniform on there. Ed and Millie. Millie just come from that concert. Anyway, these are great shots because there's not much other footage of the inside of the Waukegan house, the old farmhouse in Waukegan. So here we get to see the living room and inside the kitchen now. Mom basting the turkey and A.T. at the doorway there. Millie talking with Lima and Aunt Helen. Everyone was involved in the kitchen. And now we've got the table all set. There's Doris and Ed, Stan and Shelba. A.T.'s at the end. Lima, Lil Loftus, Lyle Loftus, and Ted Larson. I don't remember when A.T.'s birthday was, but this was a cake, and it looks like it might be a birthday cake. So let's assume it is. You get to combine a birthday celebration with Thanksgiving. When this movie was made, the folks were in the process of building a new house in Lake Forest, Illinois, and Ed and Doris were thinking about building a new house in Waukegan, not far from this property. Nice picture of the kitchen again, looking out the north windows, and a portrait done by Charles Overall of me. I think this is called a vibraharp xylophone. Portrait of Cliff done by Mr. Overall. And the painting of the Finnish sailing ship, the Parma, which Dad also had a wooden model of. Switching scenes now, we're going to take a drive up the old driveway off of McAree Road. I think the address was 1224 McAree Road, if I remember correctly. It was called the Windy Hill, and this is where the family property was. 10 acres. Um, Unfortunately, the city was sprawling, and there was going to be a big subdivision built just to the north of this property. And what had been nice open lands was going to become a bunch of houses there for new people to live in. Coming up the driveway, we have the grape orchard to the right. You can't see it, and going past the apple trees on the left. The big yard there to the left was also one that we mowed with our Trams sit-down mower, and it was a big deal when you got old enough to run that Trams. A screened-in porch there they added, and of course the highlight of the property was the clubhouse that Cliff and Griff and I built. It was our last clubhouse. It was probably about the sixth in a row we had built out of used lumber. This one the folks actually bought new lumber for. This is an old shed that we used for different things. At one point, we had a burro that lived in there, but he was long gone by the time these movies were made. That was the garage apartment that Ed and Doris were living at the time, and the view looking west of the property, and now looking southwest, and now looking straight south. It was a view that folks really liked. Here's the farmhouse itself. My bedroom was right above the door there in that little bumped out area in the roof. That was my bedroom. This was the view that the folks really loved. As a matter of fact, they hired somebody to do a painting of this particular view. And as it will happen, when the painting arrived, it wasn't exactly what they wanted, but they did keep this nice watercolor. Looking south again, and we're panning around to the next door neighbor to the south, the Tennysons, who had a operation that kept thoroughbred horses. This is the old Purple Martin house that went up every spring for new tenants. At the end of the season, we lowered it down. That thing just kind of swung down on a pivot at the base, and we clean out the house and put it back up in the springtime for new martins to find a home. Looking down towards McAree Road from the house. And here's Ma and Doris, and I think maybe Shalba. Somebody sitting around on the lawn there, and their dog Tizzy. And Cliff playing baseball. The tennis ball bouncing off against the shed, doing some nice fielding. Cliff and I used to play baseball there. One of us would bat, the other would pitch, and I know I threw my arm out for the rest of my life throwing that tennis ball up against that wall, trying to get Cliff to swing and miss. Panorama of the view from the property, again looking south. The house itself. The folks sold this property in the mid-60s. It was later developed as a large apartment complex.